Everyone has bad days. Days where we feel off or unmotivated or distracted or just like we're not living up to our full potential. But lucky for you, I have a quote that it offers advice on what to do when encountering these bad days. It tells us to accept that some days we're the pigeon and that some days we are the statue. So, what does that mean exactly? Well, from my interpretation, it's telling us that some days we're the pigeon, or the typical metaphorical purpose that birds serve. We're free to, do what we choose, fly around the atmosphere, and make our own choices for our life. But other days we're the statues, stagnant, staying in one place and being defecated on by the pigeons. We're at the hands of the world and we just don't really know what to do with ourselves. And the quote is telling us that we should accept these bad days because we'll also have good days, and that, we need to have both in society for everything to function. But before you make this quote your core ideology, it's important to realize that, is this quote really that suitable for modern society? Because when you take a look at it, you can see that it isn't really that trustworthy, because it has a very loose interpretation that could be taken different ways, and accepting our fate as a statue or a pigeon really isn't the best for us in the long run. So, the quote itself really doesn't hold up. It offers the extreme dichotomy between pigeons and statues, two completely opposing forces. But what do those forces necessarily mean? Like I said, I had my interpretation, but technically it could also mean that statues are these marbly icons that everybody really looks up to. And it means that pigeons are the absolute scum of the earth, the lowest of the lows. So that way really offers a completely different interpretation. Not just the opposite, but also in the way that people look at us. So, that could be useful too, but saying my original, interpretation that birds are free and statues are on the ground is still pretty harmful. Because in our current society, the way things are laid out, our statue days are more like statue years. The vast majority of us, for sometimes even all our lives, are statues. We're being affected by the higher ups or political figures, and they kind of control our lives and our decision making. So we're really always statues. And then someday we may grow up to be a pigeon, but those pigeon days aren't really even that much better because we're just doing the same to other people. So yeah, it's a very clumsily made metaphor that could work but could mean different things to different people. Except a lot of the meanings themselves are pretty faulty. Like the one that I mentioned, saying that accepting our fate as a statue is bad. But the key part in this is the acceptance. Yeah, we have to accept that we're having these bad days, but what does that really do for us in the long run? We accept that we have bad days and we move on and await the good days. But for me personally, for a long time, I was in a bit of a rough patch. I wasn't feeling good at myself for, even months at a time. And it took me a while until one night I just sat back and looked at it. I realized that different things I were doing were causing me to be in this rough patch. So I changed it. I got new medications, I started sleeping better, and I started getting my work done more effectively. And that helped me. I started having better days because I was willing to step out of the statue part and really not accept it. To say that I don't want my life to just stay like this. Some days we do just wake up on the wrong side of the bed, but assuming that we're waking up on the wrong side of the bed every single morning is harmful. So what about the other side of things? Being the pigeons, free to do as they choose. Well, if you're a pigeon, once again, you're defecating on the statues, meaning you're basically taking advantage of other people. So is it really worth it to be a pigeon either? If we're a pigeon, then we're looking at society and, saying that we're the upper part. We're free, but we're relaxing and just we're just avoiding the conflicts and taking advantage of the statues, which is also very harmful. It's important for us to really reach out and help other people who are having bad days and not take advantage of them because we're having a good day. So where does that leave us? Well, in the end, being a pigeon or being a statue, but whatever way you look at it, it doesn't work. Saying that you're a pigeon means, that you're taking advantage of other people, and that you're a statue means that you're always, bad. So accepting those states of life is no good for us. So what are we? Are we just a pigeon statue hybrid? Well, that's why it's such a loose metaphor. It doesn't really work in the context that it's meant to be in, and could be harmful if certain people take it too seriously. So what should we do? We should really just focus on ourselves and think about it. If we're having a bad day, try to realize what's going on. And if we're taking advantage of people, try to step out of that and instead help people. Help people who are having their bad days start having better ones. So, thank you.